What's up, everybody? It is Malmolian. I am back once again with another altered deck profile here for you. This one is the continuation of the upgrading these starter decks. This time we are covering Sigismar and Wingspan, the Ordis starter deck heroes. Just again, like with all the other ones, real quickly, I just combined 3 starter decks. Again, now that things are starting to pop up as we're getting into quarter 4 to ready for the marketplace, I think you would be okay just buying 2, kind of mixing and matching together there. But nevertheless, just for the integrity of the video, and full disclosure, I did use 3 starter decks. The card evaluation ratings are based off of Trickster's faction set review videos, which I will have this particular one linked in the description, like all the others. The goal of meeting these here is, the goal of this video here was for me to create a competitive deck that you could sleeve up and take to any LGS or an event, and also have decent staples available so that as you get your booster boxes or buy your singles, that you'll have stuff for the other heroes in the faction as well. So looking at the numbers, we have 15 copies of cards rated 3 out of 3, which is considered a staple for the character here. Now, when I say 15 copies, that is just every card we're running 3 of. So in this case, it would be 5 copies. There's 5 cards that are considered staples on Sigismar. And then, like I said, 5 times 3, and that winds up being 15 copies, just so we're all tracking on the same page. And then it was 27 copies of cards that are rated 2 out of 3, which we'll say is considered playable. Now, I know that does equal over 39 cards. So, yes, that is correct. 42 out of 39 cards are either playable or staples for this deck. And we'll see when we get to the deck list here a little bit later. So, you just have to choose which one, and I'll talk about it there. But yeah, even the option that I did leave out to keep the deck 39 cards was still considered playable in this character as well. And then for the other faction Waru, he has 9 cards, or you can play 9 copies that are considered staple, and then 12 copies of cards that are considered playable. And then Gorag is 9 again copies of cards that would be considered staples, and then 33 that are considered playable. So once again, that is ballooning over that 39. But you just have options. They're never going to be the most optimized, but at least you know that as far as when you start branching out into the faction, that you can at least put playable stuff together as you're trying to figure out those heroes play patterns and things like that. So onto the deck here. What I have is laid out here. We've got 27 characters, 6 spells, and 6 permanents. Again, the permanents are the monolith for anybody who played in the starter deck factions tournaments at Gen Con or anywhere else that they're putting on. You know that pretty much once Ordis got the monolith out and the carrier, it's pretty much GG's at that point. So, but all the games before those 2 permanents came out, they were always very, very good games. Ordis did not run away with games until one or both of those landmarks hit the table. So that was at least what we had told people during the faction tournaments. Just kind of keep them encouraged. Like, just because you're playing against Orders doesn't mean it's an auto loss. Like, you can still kind of hang in there. So as you see with the Ordis is a very low to the ground starter deck, and this is where I would talk about here. I decided to go with 3 Kakobas instead of running Gene to Arc. I just like Kakobas because I can kind of hit that prerequisite a lot easier than what I would for Gene to Arc. And Gene to Arc happens after the dust. So, yeah, it's like preps you up for a better next day, but um, she's just a bit costly. When I can pretty much hit Kakoba's stuff pretty reliable and hit it right when it's played on effect. So the rares that I chose was the out of faction Foundry Mechanic, just because it helps to make those other spells cheaper. Not spells. Jesus, I've been playing too much Izmir. The landmark's cheaper if I can see that. The presentation that I'm using, it actually shrinks the screen down So I can't see the cards fully. I have to figure out if there's some way around that next time. But the Ordis Trooper, Radiskier, the Legate Scribe, Legate Scribe, and then we have the Ordis Spy, and then those are the rares that I decided to go with here, and then all the others are commons like your Ordis Cadets, the Frog Pins. Like I said, it's a very low to the ground. The highest costed card is a 5, and that's just the monolith. So you have some nice combos. Again, you're trying to overwhelm players with tokens. And then, like I said, once you start hitting 5 or 6, it's just too easy just to play some of these 2 or 3 costs, especially like the Orders Recruits that are bringing a token with them. Radiskier from Reserve that'll be bringing recruits with him, the Orders Trooper itself. So, Orders has a lot of extremely efficient, like almost all their when played, either from hand or from reserve, whatever it may be, is definitely bringing along more tokens either in the other zone or in the current zone that they're in. And then we have sticky note seals, which is the only way option of removal that you have in Orders from the starter deck. So those definitely have to be included with the threes as well too. And then one of the best statted spells in the game with charge, giving everybody you have out there boost. Incredible card. That card is just another one of those that just ends games. I'm trying to think. There was something else I think that I had wanted to cover, but I don't remember anymore. Oh yeah, let's talk about the cards that are considered. The cards that I considered, not that I considered, the cards that are rated as probably staples in the deck. We had the rare version of the Ordis Trooper, um, the commons of the cadets, the commons of the spy would be fine. I just ran the rare because there wasn't a better slot per se that I wanted to use that up on. And then, of course, the standard version charge as this common version is just fine. And then the monolith, I think, is definitely big. You'll see some as you expand out into like booster box and things like that. That some aren't even some Sigismar decks aren't even running permanents. They're just going full on characters and spells. And like I said, that'll work as well too. There's always room to experiment. Like I said, nothing's quite defined. The game has barely been out a month or a little over a month and some change now. So there's no quote unquote right or wrong way to do these things. And then pretty much everything else in here is just considered playable. So I just wanted to kind of put out there what would be the important cards that you're playing in the deck. Just so when you see them, it kind of may help influence like those mana decisions or what you could look forward to having carry on into your decks into the future. And that wraps up this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe. I'll always be having more altered content as well. And then tune in for the Conquer the Tumult. It is a competitive focused podcast that I do for Altered TCG. Right now, it is bi-weekly. Just want to take some time because I am by myself, so I want to make sure that I am not cheating you guys out of quality content, especially when we're considering that it's for the competitive realm. So I definitely want to make sure that like we're helping people out here, not just experience, but Altered is a lot of people's first card game. So I kind of want to go over stuff that's been not necessarily basic, but it's more leaning towards people who are just now getting into competitive TCGs, and then also just getting into competitive for any type of game, period. So, the very first episode, I talked about having the competitive mindset and what entails all of that. You can go back, it's on my YouTube channel, go back and watch it. And then the second episode we'll be talking about deck building. And then I'll actually have North American Organized Play Manager, Justin Parnell. He'll be a guest on the show as we will talk about that, going through the process and tips and tricks of what to look for as you are deck building for competitive events for this game. So, yep, that'll all be coming along. I said if you subscribe and have your notifications on, you'll definitely see when that is uploaded. That way you can definitely give that a listen and tune in. And I will catch all of you guys in the next video. Bye now.